we'll start off by loading the material under the dancer arm that's going to unwind as we're feeding into the printer. So we'll go under the dancer arm, through the cutter, into the feed tray, and get it set up before we actually send the job to print. So going to the software, you'll have a layout where you'll have already done the imposition of the labels. And from that point, you'll just do a file print. Select your copies, which we'll do 15, and you click print. And from the time you click print, it's going to start ripping the job. It'll warm up the fuser, and from that point, it'll start feeding through the printer, and we'll have to put it through our rewinder and tension system. So once the fuser heats up, the material just starts advancing on its own. You'll be putting it through the tension block onto the rewinder, lining it up with the back of the core. You'll tape it down, and you can engage the rewinder so you get a nice tight wrap. So the printer itself is a 2400 DPI laser printer using 4-color process. Maximum print width is going to be 8.5 inches, and it runs at approximately 16.5 feet per minute. So regardless of the coverage you're putting down on the page, it prints at the same speed no matter what. So right now in about 2 minutes we ran 15 pages of material with approximately 120 labels. So when the job finishes, we'll cut down on the input side, advance the material all the way through the printer, and then stop the rewind. And you have your finished output. So on the FX1200, we take the printed roll, we're loading it onto the input, and as we feed it through the machine, we can apply a laminate. We can either do a self-wound laminate or a linered laminate. Once we have it to that point, we'll advance it into the cutter. Once we're in the cutter, we'll have to have it trigger off a target mark, which we printed off of the previous roll. So it's going to read off of that target mark, start cutting, and then we'll advance out of the machine, where we'll take up the waste matrix and slit it down into individual rolls. So once we click go, the cutter's going to go into motion, reading the target mark and cutting the label. And it'll start advancing this way to do the final output. So matrix is up, slitting blades are in place, and we have our 2 output rolls.